All right, folks, we're road tripping through Nebraska. Last night and today, we saw miles and miles of cornfields here in Nebraska. Over the decades, we've made a lot of great friends and some phenomenal customers up this direction. The hospitality up here is second to none. Today, you're going to get to experience some of that firsthand as we go over to Lincoln Chrome, and they're going to show us how your Lincoln exhaust stacks are made. Hey, we're right here in front of Lincoln Industries, Lincoln Chrome Plating. Before we go in and meet Josh, check out what's over my shoulder here. This eagle was made years ago by one of their longtime VIP employees. The rumor goes that he made that all out of scrap metal. Talk about vision and art coming together. Now that's cool. Josh!
Hey, Brian, how's it going,
Good
man?
to see you again, man. Thanks for having us up for this tour.
No problem whatsoever. I appreciate you guys coming down and checking out what we do here.
You know, we sell a lot of truck parts at Four State Trucks, but your exhaust line is one of our big five. So today's a big day for us. It's a big day, I hope, for everybody that's watching. And when we think of Lincoln, I mean, of course, you guys make exhaust, bumpers, a full line of stainless accessories, visors. But today, every trucker wants to know, how are my exhaust pipes made from start to finish? So you got to show us that today.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll go in and check out how we fab it, polish it, and plate it, and get it all pretty and out the door.
Let's do it. You got to introduce us to some of the crew as well.
Definitely. We'll have you guys meet up with a few of the guys in each department, get an understanding of what they're responsible for and what they do.
Well, let's get on in there and you can show us how it's made.
Definitely.
All right, we stepped into Josh Paisley's office here at Lincoln real quick to kind of find out a little backstory about Lincoln Industries, Lincoln Chrome Plating, and how it all ties together. Now I know, Josh, from our perspective at Four State Trucks, we think of Lincoln as the exhaust, bumper, and stainless guys. But that's on an aftermarket big rig level. You guys as a corporation do a lot of original equipment stuff for PACCAR, for Harley Davidson, and others. Tell us a little bit about company history and how all that kind of came about.
We've been around since 1952, and it was owned from Dale LeBaron, which was Mark's dad. Mark LeBaron currently owns it, and his daughters, Katie and Cassie, work here. So it's a family-owned business in Lincoln, Nebraska. Started kind of as a mom-pop type plating shop, and then just continued to evolve and grow from that point forward. It used to be named Lincoln Plating. When I joined the company in 2007, it was right around the time we changed to Lincoln Industries because we didn't want to just be known as a plating company.
I remember 2007. Yeah. I remember 2007, and you're right. For years, you guys were Lincoln Plating.
So we went ahead and just rebranded under Lincoln Industries, and then September 2008, we launched the brand Lincoln Chrome. The initial reason of why we launched the brand back then is we were an OEM provider for stacks. So we had the equipment to bend it, we had the equipment to polish it, and we have the equipment to plate it.
Sure.
So it really kind of was a no-brainer at a certain point to launch your own product line into the aftermarket side. The funny thing with a lot of the industries that we talk about, like the motorcycle industry, first thing somebody does when they buy one, usually pop the exhaust off and put an aftermarket one on.
You got to, first time.
Yeah.
It's like if you buy a Peterbilt, you got to rip the visor, stacks, and bumper off, put an aftermarket on.
Yeah, and it's the same thought process. So, okay, we're an OEM provider of a lot of that stuff, but then we might as well provide a premium full-on exhaust kit that people are asking for. A lot of the things we'd get is based on driver input. We come in and say, okay, well, that 90-degree elbow, could you make that one piece all the way up to the top bracket? Heck yeah, we can. And we can plate it, and it makes us a little bit different than what's out there because a lot of people can't plate an 82-inch length elbow. But overall, we just want to continue to make the best product we possibly can and make sure that we're meeting the expectations. When somebody's spending their hard-earned money, you want to make sure they're happy with what they get and make sure it's going to last for quite some time on the truck, along with growing with the help of you guys and overall just keep working on the aftermarket side, which is where I'm part of.
Well, we've been working with you since you launched the exhaust line in 2008. We're big fans of the Run American, Buy American campaign. You guys kind of wave that flag everywhere you go, which is truly admirable. I mean, a great bunch of people here in Lincoln at the factory. I know you guys, as you said, since day one, since '08, you've been hitting the truck show circuit, getting feedback, getting your name out there, interacting with drivers, shop owners, chrome shops like us, to where you've really grown Lincoln Exhaust to one of the premier brands out there. I mean, when a guy wants top shelf exhaust, more times than not, he's asking for Lincoln Chrome. You know, the product speaks for itself. I mean, it looks phenomenal. You're going to show us today a lot of the reasons why it looks so phenomenal. It's got a great warranty, but it's really the people behind the company. I mean, you guys are a company of character. You say what you do what you say, you keep everything above board. I've got to say, we've got a long list of vendors that we buy from at Four State Trucks. You guys are an absolute pleasure to deal with. So I've got no reason to think that if you don't keep doing what you're doing, you guys someday will totally dominate the exhaust market. But enough of that. Today we're here for exhaust, so we've got to get out there and you got to show us how a stack is born through the process and how it goes in the box and eventually ends up on our shelf and in somebody's hands and on their truck.
Yeah, let's go check it out. I'll get you in front of a lot of the guys that know a heck of a lot more about it than I do.
I'm excited. All right, first stop in the stack building process is metal fabrication, where we take it from the raw pipe you see behind me to the finished good ready to send over to get polished and plated. JW, you've been doing this a while, haven't you?
A little bit, yep, a little bit.
Well, when it comes to Lincoln Chrome, you guys do 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch, 8-inch. I can see these, what are they, 20-foot sticks?
Yep, we've got some 20-footers in here. That's how we get the raw tube in.
Give us the 3-minute version. How are we going to go from here to what we've seen in those pre-bent elbows ready to ship over to polishing?
Yes, sir. Well, what we get, we have our trucks come in. We use the hoist to take them off the truck, obviously. You can see the 20-foot sticks stacked up here. They go through a hem saw where we cut them down the length that's manageable for the bender.
Okay.
Once the bender takes care of it, we cut the head down to the right proportions. We get it informed. We weld it if needed, such as the big elbows that you see, the 8-inch stacks coming out those semis. Otherwise, it just gets plated out the door.
I know to deal with that many size pipes and that many elbow configurations, it takes a ton of tooling. I mean, you had a rack over there 80-foot long, 25-foot tall, full of tooling jigs. I mean, people don't realize the investment it takes to bend up a $45 or $60, $70 elbow.
Definitely.
It's really something to think about. Well, let's see something in process. Can you take us to where maybe we're making a top stack or an elbow?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
Saw cutting that raw tube at 20 foot. We've seen the benders go through and take care of that aspect. We've seen the welders go through. Now we come over to the boxing station. So our boxing station, obviously we've got a lot of parts that go out to the main plant to get polished and chrome plated. You can see that in this box, that's those elbows that we talked about earlier. The nice smooth transition there we've got, the nice smooth weld. And it's a quality product that's going out the fab shop.
So, JW, I got to thank you for the tour. This was informative, and this is step one of our Lincoln How It's Made exercise.
That's correct.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
So we just stepped into the polishing room here. Now, building these stacks from start to finish, every bit of it's hard work, but these guys bear some of the heaviest part of the workload. Polishing these things is very physical, makes for a long day. But that's what it takes to turn out a great pipe like they do here at Lincoln Chrome. Let's check it out, Josh. Let's go. the floor at Lincoln Industries, and we've got a couple of the guys from the metal fab polishing department, and without them, Lincoln pipes would not come out as gorgeous as they do. So, fellas, tell us who you are and what goes on the other side of that door.
Well, my name's Jeremy Schwebke. I do the training and process control for this department. What I do is try to help make sure these operators are getting the best finish they do for all the product we do in here. So we start off with a raw tube. We take out all defects, imperfections and stuff, get it ready for plating. Plating doesn't look good if it doesn't come through this department.
That's what they say.
I have to say it all the time. It's like, this is an art. It takes a lot of work to do what they do.
And you know, we're focusing on exhaust today, but in essence, you guys polish everything over here, don't you? To a large degree, the bumpers, the other components.
Yeah, so Nick, we just witnessed a little bit of the polishing a large pipe. How many of those you got flowing through, or how many do you think you're doing a day?
Roughly 30 to 50 a day, depending on the size.
Yeah.
And that is not an easy job.
No, it's dirty, but I like it. It's an art form.
Well, I guarantee you, every customer of ours that goes home with a Lincoln set of pipes, they like it too. They appreciate what you do. I know, you know, sometimes probably we got to give credit where credit is due, but you guys are a big part of what happens here.
What do you think is your favorite part to polish or take care of? Or
it's got to be
fix,
these big custom T-pipes. I mean, it's just got to be. It'd be like, I hate those things. I hate those things.
No, some of the I like the long stacks. Like you guys videotape. It's a little more finesse.
Yeah.
Using that hand tool.
Yeah, some of it's got to be a bit of a self-challenge to you. It's like a game of golf. It's like, how good can I get at this?
It is.
Yeah,
every day.
nice. Yeah. All right, guys, man, that was interesting. Thanks for showing us what you do over there.
No problem. Thanks for coming out and watching us.
You got it.
Go over to line 38 and we're gonna go check out Kyle over here and see what he has to say about how he plates these things.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, look at that, buddy. Hey, this is Kyle. This is
Hey,
Brian.
Brian, nice to meet
Thanks
you.
for having us.
You betcha. Glad to have you here.
We've been plating these on multiple different lines since the launch of the business to this. So line 38 was developed
4 years ago.
4 years.
Fairly
ago.
new in the
Yeah.
scheme of things.
And line 38 was built for what?
Well, primarily to be able to focus on this long stack.
The uniqueness here is the fact that you can plate it vertical instead of laying down, which is probably what most other platers do on exhaust.
We can go up to 72 inches that we can run vertical.
Okay.
When you get past that, you've got to put a little bit of a tilt on it. But when we started, as Josh knows, we ran the long pipe completely horizontal, and that just allowed stuff to set on there. Well, when you're somewhat vertical, it doesn't give it as much of a landing zone, and so with the agitation that's in there, it's got more potential to fall off of there and minimize that for us.
Well, why don't you show us kind of the high points of line 38 here?
Absolutely. Try to not get my guys in the way or they'll holler at me. But you were looking at here the incoming pipe. I think you guys got to go see polishing.
We did.
So you got to see how they handle it and get it to us. They transport it down here. These parts are polished on a by demand basis.
Sure.
So we take it, we've got an individual racking system for all the different pipe, which allows us to minimize any contact zone exteriorly. It comes into the 3 different loading stations here. Then we punch the recipe in, tells it the length, the diameter, the quantity. The computer then generates the appropriate voltage and amperage and takes it through the whole cleaning process. I send a raw piece of pipe off like you see here behind you, and about 2 hours and 40 minutes later it comes back looking like these elbows
Nice.
that Nate's pulling out for us.
That is impressive.
These guys are the ones that are impressive with it. Like, I know there's a lot of automation here, but there's a lot of manual, a lot of tribal knowledge to help this stuff continue to excel and grow and develop, and it's been pretty awesome.
And it's physical too. That's why I stand back and point out what needs to happen. You see these guys, I mean, they're holding that pipe up. Those are 50-inch, 8-inch diameter pipe, you know,
Right.
so they're not light.
How many loads do you think you guys do in a shift?
Well, if we're running full, which we like to because that keeps our efficiency up, we get about 72 loads per shift. So with the 4 hoist system that we've got, that allows us really to maximize our plating time and keep parts moving.
ready to do the plating video.
Yep.
So give us like the 3-minute version. You put the raw part on the rack. It's going to pick it up, bring it up here. You've told me the first tank is going to be like a caustic soap to clean everything. And then what happens from there?
You go from the caustic soap, you go to an electro cleaner.
Okay.
Goes through the rinse. It goes to an electro acid. It goes to a rinse. Then it goes back to the electro cleaner again. It goes to a rinse. Goes to the hydrochloric, which actually preps that material to be able to receive the nickel.
Okay.
Then it'll go down to the end of the line, go into the semi-bright nickel, spends its 45 minutes, I think it is there. Then it goes into the bright nickel, which is about 20 minutes. Then it goes to the microporous nickel, which is that final level of nickel, which gives us even more protection. Brings it back down here, hits the nickel activator, which allows the nickel to receive the chrome. Then it goes into the chrome, through the rinses and back out and out the door.
Wow. A lot of bus stops.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm 98% sure that's all the tanks. Again, multiple rinses, different times and voltages included in there, but that is the process.
Josh, I spotted these going by, and I tell you, when it comes to these exhaust clamps, you can't make enough of them. They're like Lay's potato chips. If you make 50, we want 100. If you make 100, we want 200.
Yes, that's for sure. I mean, they are going through and very fast, very quick, and we got plenty of them. How many of these can we rack per load, Kyle?
60. We can do 60 a load.
You stop and think, every truck's going to need at least 4 of them. Some of them are going to need 6 if it's a Kenworth.
Yep.
And these clamps are always highly sought after, and sometimes, believe it or not, they're short supply.
Yeah.
Kyle, we need more clamps. Turn up the power.
We do what we can. We keep thinking it through, but you know how things are. Everything's been moving real well lately, and that's been pretty awesome. These guys are buzzing
I
through
love
these
these
things.
things.
But they are beautiful when they come out. That's
you
one
guys
thing
make a
that's
fine
nice.
clamp. There's a lot of options out there on the market, but you guys, the fitment, the finish, the hardware that comes with them, there is a difference.
Okay, we appreciate it. That's these guys doing that stuff. It has nothing to do with me whatsoever.
Love hearing that from our customers.
Yep.
We package the product right over here. So he's checking the pin stamp on there and make sure all the proper information's in there before he runs it out of here.
Josh, I gotta tell you, after doing the tour today, I just thought I knew how a stack was made. This has been interesting, man. The length you guys go to ensure quality has been impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely more than what you think, especially through the plating process and the artwork on the polishing side of things, all the way from the art on the fab side. These guys really care about what they do, and that definitely shows.
Noticeable difference. Your people say a lot about the company. The product speaks for itself. Well, thanks a bunch for letting 4State be part of the Lincoln Chrome product line. We're proud to sell it down there in Joplin, and hopefully we're doing you a good job. Looking forward to many years to come.
Heck yeah, definitely. Well, we appreciate you letting us partake in the 4States family, and wish we could be at GBATS this year, but you know how that goes.
Hey, this has been fun, though.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, definitely.